Thank you very much, Stephanie. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my privilege and honor to extend a very warm and cordial welcome to all of you on behalf of the President and my colleagues here of the Executive Committee for this press briefing as we launch the inaugural LPL 2020. We are indeed delighted to partner innovative group of companies UAE, and I would like to welcome the group Managing Director Mr. Anil Mohan, who's here with us, and also Professor Arjuna De Silva, the event medical director. Welcome to you, members of the media. This is a very historic moment for Sri Lanka cricket because, as you all know, we have been planning to stage this important tournament for the last 3 years or so. But unfortunately, due to various reasons, we were deprived of holding this event. And eventually, even though that we were scheduled to play this tournament in August, with the emergence of the second wave of the pandemic, there was so much of uncertainty prevailing, and finally we have been able to decide on the dates and make it a reality. In this context, I would like to recognize the untiring efforts of Mr. Shammi Silva, President of Sri Lanka Cricket, who vigorously pursued, despite the many complex challenges and all the turbulent times and obstacles that we had to encounter, encouraging the Executive Committee to some or other go ahead and play this tournament, because we always felt that this would be a very valuable investment for our national and emerging cricketers in order to give them the exposure in building up a nucleus of T20 players for the future. I must also recognize with gratitude the magnanimous role and the encouragement given to us by the Honorable Minister of Sports, Mr. Namal Rajapaksa, who really went out of his way to assist us in obtaining the necessary approvals, and of course His Excellency, the President, the Government of Sri Lanka, the Minister of Health, Department of Health, the COVID Task Force, including its Chairman, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, who extended their wholehearted support to ensure that this tournament went on. I'm indeed grateful, and I would like to congratulate the efforts of the tournament director, Vice President Ravin Vikramaratne, who has marshaled his resources under him in the LPL committee, working day and night during the last couple of years, because we only had a very short time from the time we were given permission to hold this event, and as such we had to meet all these challenges and adjust ourselves to meet these environmental and very complex challenges, as I said before, in going through with this process. Suba Sandhavak Wasamata, Sri Lanka Cricket Palaka Mandaliya Sabapati Shammi Silva Mahatmaya ඇතුළු අද මෙහි පැමිණි තියෙන අපගේ උපසභාපතිවරු ඒ වගේම ප්‍රධාන විධායක වෙනුවෙන් මම ඉතාමත් සාදරයෙන් ඔබ සැමදෙන පිළිගන්නට කැමැතියි. විශේෂයෙන්ම අපගේ මේ LPL 2020 event rights ලබාගෙන තිබෙන innovative group of companies ආයතනයේ managing director අනිල් මොහන් මහත්මයා ඇතුළු ඒ වගේම ප්‍රොෆෙසර් අර්ජුන ඩේ සිල්වා මහත්මයාමත් ඉතාමත් සාදරයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා. ඔබ දන්නා පරිදි අපි මේ ක්‍රීඩාවලිය තරඟාවලිය පවත්වන්නට අදහස් කරේ දැනට අවුරුදු 3කට පමණ පෙර. නමුත් යම් යම් හේතු නිසා අපිට අවස්ථාව ලැබුණේ නැහැ එය පවත්වාගෙන යාමට. නමුත් මේ අවුරුද්දේ අගෝස්තු මාසයේ අපි ප්ලෑන් කරලා තිබුණේ මේ තරඟාවලිය පවත්වන්න. ඒ වගේම කොවිඩ් අසංගතය නැවතත් පැමිණි නිසා අපිට යම් කිසි අපහසුතාවයකට මුහුණ පාන්නට සිදු වුණා. නමුත් අපගේ සභාපති ශම්මී සත්මා මහත්මයාගේ උත්සාහවන්තකම නිසා අපි එක කණ්ඩායමක් හැටියට අපේ පාලක මණ්ඩලයේ විධායක කමිටුව ඔහුට අවශ්‍ය සහයෝගය ලබා දීම නිසා අපි දැනට පුළුවන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා මෙම තරඟාවලිය 26 වෙනිදා පවත්වාගෙන යාමට. ඒ අතරම මේ තරඟාවලිය පවත්වා යාමට අපට අවශ්‍ය සෑම කාරණයක්ම ඒ වගේම අවශ්‍ය පර්මිෂන් එහෙම නැත්නම් health guidelines අනුව ක්‍රියා කිරීමට අපගේ ක්‍රීඩා අමාත්‍යන් ගරු නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා ඉතාමත් සුහදව ඔහුගේ සහයෝගය ලබා දීම ගැන අපි එතුමාට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා සෞඛ්‍ය ඇමතිනි සහ ඇයගේ සෞඛ්‍ය සේවා කාර්ය මණ්ඩල ඒ වගේම ලෙෆ්ටිනන්ට් ජෙනරල් ශවේන්ද්‍ර සිල්වා අපිට හුඟක් සහයෝගය ලබා දී මේ තරඟාවලිය කෙසේ හෝ පවත්වීමට ගෙන යාමට අපිට ආධාර කිරීම ගැන අපි ඔවුන්ට ඉතාමත් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. මේක මම හිතන්නේ හොඳ අවස්ථාවක් හොඳ පටන් ගැනීමක්. ඉදිරියේදී අපේ තරුණ ක්‍රීඩකයින් අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න. ඉතින් අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා මුදල් වලට වඩා මේ තරඟාවලිය අපි ආයෝජනයක් කරගන්න අපේ අලුත් ක්‍රීඩක පරපුරට අවස්ථාවන් ලබා දෙන්න ඔවුන්ට අවශ්‍ය ඒ කුසලතා දිනු කර ගැනීම. එම නිසා මම අපේ රවින් වික්‍රම මහත්මයාට රත්න මහත්මයාට ඉතාමත් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. මොකද ඔහු සෑහෙන්න මාන්සි වෙලා මේ පසු සුබාන දෙක තුන ඇතුළතදී විශාල කාර්යභාරයක් ඉටු කරනවා. ඔහු සහ ඔහුගේ සමාජිකයින් LPL කණ්ඩායමේ ඒ වගේම මම මේ තරඟාවලියට සුබ පතන අතර විශේෂයෙන්ම මාධ්‍ය විසින් අපට ලබා දුන් සහයෝගයට මම ඉතාමත් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohan de Silva. Please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We will now be opening the floor for any questions that you may have. Kindly just raise your hand and the mic will find its way to you. And do state who you would like to direct the question to before you ask your question. The floor is now open.
My question is to Anil. Good evening. Now this tournament is supposed to bring a lot of revenue to Sri Lanka cricket, and there was reports that there wasn't regarding the initial payment was not made and things like that. Well, from your side of it, can you just let us know whether these things are true or whether this has any truth in it, or whether these payments have been made, because normally before tournament these things are normal. There is a certain percentage that has to be paid before the tournament commences.
No, Mr. Shaji, yeah? Shaji, yeah. Shaji, no, there is nothing like that. They were all rumors. Just to let you know, I was in 28 days quarantine here. So, that time I had to come to Sri Lanka board and, sign everything and make the payment. But everything is under control. And I'm getting very good support from the sports minister, the chairman and the vice president, tournament director. Everyone is supporting me. So this will happen. This year tournament will happen. There's no issues on payment at all.
Oh.
Everything is sorted, yeah.
So you mean to say that the initial payments and all have been made?
Yes, all done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not sure to whom I can direct this question. We have 5 teams in the fray. We have one team that is branded the Jaffna Stallions. Then we have another team that is branded in the South, Gaul Gladiators. In the western part, Kalamu Kings. Central part, Candy Tuskers. But there is no branding given to the eastern part of the country. Why is that? You have a team that is called the Damulla Vikings, which is about 20 kilometers or 20 miles away from Kandy. Why has the eastern region not been branded in this tournament?
Kelly, the question, the first thing is the formation of teams are based on the international venues earlier. That were the initial stages, because we wanted to play this tournament in 3 venues. That is Dambulla, 3 international venues, Hambantota, Kandy and Dambulla. So that is why we decided to name after cities. And Jaffna, we should go there. We feel the entire executive committee felt that we must have a team in Dambulla and Southern. But this is not the final formation. Okay, this is for this year only. And we have plans to increase the numbers of teams from next year or maybe from the 3rd year. So, and especially the challenging hours, like what we are going through right now. So therefore, at least you have to satisfy, I think the entire country is satisfied, because they want to see a lot cricket in the country. So that is why we have not left out Eastern Province. It might be included in coming years.
What about media arrangements? You have the television commentators, but there wouldn't be anyone from the print media, no print commentators. I mean, how does that stand in this whole exercise?
Actually, we don't have any spectators also.
I'm talking about the print media.
Yeah.
You have television commentators, but there won't be any print media represented there. How will the coverages be done?
No, we will be having a mechanism to, after every match, that our media department, SLC, will pass all the information to you all, and it will be on TV, that is Sony and Sky TV. Of course, Sky TV is not to be seen here. But our media department, they will work 24 hours.
Can we get the required media information that we would require?
Whatever you can, basically media manager is there and the media team, entire media team is there. You can ask them. If they don't give you, please call us or call Ashley, this is Mr. CEO. Then we will act accordingly.
Are you available to the media? I tried to get you 2 days ago, but I sent messages.
No, not me. That is why I said call Ashley, because I have enough work, Kelly. To be very frank, I have to sort out about 200 people's personal, individual problems. They have been calling right throughout, because they are under lock and key basically at Shangri-La right now, and they have immense problems.
Just to add to what the Vice President said, there are health guidelines which we have been guided by that. And in the event, if you are going to open up to the media personnel would have to go through 14 days of quarantine in Hambantota. In addition to that, we also have created bubbles in all the areas, like the production team, we have created a bubble, the team officials, we have created a bubble. So we are going with that concept. And unfortunately, since the media people will have to go through 14 days of quarantine, we were not able to accommodate the media personnel at the venue. And also the decision has been taken by Sri Lanka Cricket to play this tournament behind closed doors. So it would be open only to the people who have been quarantined and who had gone through the the guidelines which has been given to us by the Health Ministry. Certainly you can call me at any time during the tour. We will provide you all with whatever the information which is required. And it's been shown on all the TV channels, Sony, Sky, as well as the ITN. So you all have the access to that. In addition to that, if you all require any other information, definitely we are available to provide that to you all.
This question is for Ravin Vikramatne also. I think there's a requirement of paying a certain percentage of the players' salaries before the first match is played. Can you confirm what that percentage is and also what the status of those payments are as far as you know from the franchises?
By 25th, they will have to pay 60% to the players, and they have already informed us that the first payment was made to all the players, and the second payment will be done on the 25th, that is tomorrow.
Ravin, in this squad which you got yesterday, there were two teams that didn't have players. I mean, had that been filled?
Actually, because of Malinga left goal, that they are talking to the top guys in the world to bring in. And also, Kamran Akmal got injured. He got his neck injured. So they will have to find a player. So they will be joining those two teams in the middle of the tournament.
My question is to the event medical director behind the pillar, sorry. The question is, sir, what's the procedure for the players who have been tested positive? As per reports, there are 2 players who have been tested positive. Will they be rejoining the bubble at any time, and what's the procedure like?
Yeah, if you give me some time, I can explain this. I think it's good. That's why I think first time there is a medical personnel on this podium. I'll explain this in English, or you want me to do it in Sinhalese? I think it's an important point.
I think with both languages, if it's possible.
Yeah, okay. So I'll do it in English first. So I think Mr. Ashley described that. First of all, we are in very strange times, right? And I must congratulate, I am outside the board, I have nothing to do with the board. So I must congratulate the cricket board for having this tournament. And again, actually, we know that in our country, normally, the quarantine process is 14 days, right? So the honorary sports minister, the health minister, all of the health ministry secretary, the Director General of Health, all got together and worked out that this quarantine could be reduced, maintaining the safety of the country. So it had been reduced to 7 days from 14. Right? So that is, but they're actually playing after 10 days. So that is what has happened. So that I just read because it will be unfair not to tell you, explain you. Is it okay for me to explain this? I don't know, thanks. There are so many medical people, right? There is Dr. Daminda, who is the Deputy Director Medical. There is, each team has got one physician, who they are already inside the bubble, right? So there is Chaminda Gunatilaka, Suresh, Pali Ratnang, Nishanta, Mithila. They are inside the team bubble with each, because the team is in a separate bubble, right? They are in with that team, with each team there is a doctor looking after the team. Then the regional director Hambantota, RDHS, Ratnapura, all those are involved in this. Then the army has given their medical, Dr. Prasad, who is overall in charge of the bubble. Right? The security of the bubble is maintained by the army commandos and the army. Right? So there will be separate bubbles. The ground is also a bubble, and they will be traveling to the bubble using bridges or buses, which are also sterile. Right? So this is in the concept which started in England. They have a much bigger COVID problem than us. So, but still they started this, and this has to go. So the importance of the country is immense, because England is coming to Sri Lanka in January, and then even for tourism this concept can be used, right? So this is very important. Then to answer your question, if you are positive, the current thing is 14 days you have to wait, and now we don't do a PCR on discharge. However, medically speaking, after about 10 days generally you are not infective, so that's the thing. But whether after having, most of these people don't have symptoms, right? But after that to play no one knows, because you can, even healthy people can get heart attacks. So medically you can't tell a person to immediately after you recover from quarantine to go and engage in a stressful thing like a T20 match. So I don't know whether medically we can clear that. If there are any doctors who are brave enough to do that, then they are welcome to do so and get. But I don't think it's advisable to do that. So that's the answer. Did that answer your question?
Yes. So basically, those two players are out of the tournament. If the tournament director also can confirm, I mean, will they be staying in Sri Lanka because both of them are foreign players?
If to elaborate on that, no. Medically, they cannot be allowed to, they can be given clearance, but if they want to play against medical advice, which you can do, that is up to them actually. But that is totally up, definitely medical clearance can't be given to play after 14 days like that, because all the evidence says you have to rest for another 2 weeks, even if you are asymptomatic.
But will they be joining the bubble again, because they are with two separate teams, and obviously what is if there is a risk that it can get infected to the other players also if they rejoin without going through the proper procedure?
No, they, once after you are tested positive, after 10 days you are not infective. That's why this we are now discharging people. We are talking about asymptomatic. Asymptomatic people can be discharged after 10 days, because all the evidence, medical evidence shows that you are not infective after 10 days once you test positive. So after 14 days, there is no way that you are going to infect anyone. Right? So even if your PCR is positive, because PCR detects only a small strand of RNA, it doesn't detect a live virus. So for that you have to culture. So even our guidelines say after 14 days you don't need to do PCR, you can discharge, because of the fact that if you are positive and you don't have symptoms. Oh, මම ඒක කියන්නම්. ඔව් දැන් මෙතුමා අහපු ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ ක්‍රීඩකයන් දෙන්නට මොන යලිත් ක්‍රීඩාවට සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. දැන් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේදී සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ කොවිඩ් රෝගය වැළඳුනාම 80%ක් වගේ ප්‍රමාණයකට රෝග ලක්ෂණ නැහැ. හැබැයි අපේ නීතිය අනුව සාමාන්‍ය නිරෝධායනය වෙන්න ඕනේ දවස් 14ක්. ඉතින් ඒ නිරෝධායන වෙන ප්‍රමාණය නම් වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. මොකද මේ ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශය. මම කිව්වා දැනුවත්කම ඇතුව සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ සහභාගීත්වය එක්ක. එතකොට දවස් 14කින් පස්සේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දවස් 10කට පස්සේ කාටවත් තර්ජනයක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ විස බීජ ඒ වෛරසය වෙන කාටවත් බෝ වෙන්න තියෙන ප්‍රවණතාවයක් නැහැ. ඒක විද්‍යාත්මක පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා. PCR එක පොසිටිව් වුණත්, මොකද PCR එකෙන් මනින්නේ වෛරස් එකේ RNA ප්‍රමාණයක් විතරයි. ජීවමාන වෛරසයක් තියෙනවද කියලා හොයන්න එහෙමනම් කල්චර් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් සාමාන්‍ය ලෝකෙ පිළිගන්නවා PCR පොසිටිව් වුණාට පස්සේ රෝග ලක්ෂණ නැත්තම් දවස් 10කට පස්සේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ කියන එක තමයි. ඒ මතයේ හින්දා තමයි දැන් දවස් 14ක නිරෝධානයකට පස්සේ PCR නොකර ගෙදර අරින මතයක් දැන් තියෙන්නේ. සිරිත දැන් එහෙම තමයි නිරෝධායන නීතිය අනුව කරන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට රෝග ලක්ෂණ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට කෙලින්ම ක්‍රීඩාවට සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා දැනට තියෙන දත්ත අනුව එහෙම කියන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද මේ රෝගය ගැන අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. අපි දන්නවා මේකේ සමහර විට ලේක් කැටි ගෙහිම අවස්ථාවල් එන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පිළිගත් මේක තමයි සති දෙකක් ඉන්න කියලා මේ රෝග ලක්ෂණ තිබුණ නැතත් රෝග ලක්ෂණ තිබුණොත් නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් කොහොමත් ඊට වැඩිය දීර්ඝ කාලයක් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒක හින්දා මේගොල්ලන්ට මේ තරඟයට සහභාගී වෙන්න තියෙන ප්‍රවණතාවය හුඟාම අඩුයි. ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනවද කරන්න කියන එක ඒක වෙනම තීරණයක් මම දැන් කොමිටුව තීරණය කළා. ඒගොල්ලොන් පෞද්ගලිකව ගන්න ඕනේ තීරණ කීපයක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි අපිට වෛද්‍යවරු වශයෙන් අපිට කියන්න බෑ මේක දවස් 14න් පස්සේ ගිහිල්ලා මේ වගේ තරඟයකට කෙලින්ම සහභාගී වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක දෙන්න බෑ කවදාවත්. එහෙම දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෛද්‍යවරු ඉන්නවා නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඇවිල්ලා එහෙම දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක උත්තරය හම්බුනේ.
Thank you.
Ashley, now Ravin also said the media unit will be working. You must understand we are working with deadlines, all these papers. So by the time the match ends, normally we'll assume at 10:30. If there's a tie or support or whatever, now I have been asking the managers' names and their telephone numbers for the last 3 days to get some comments, but nobody, it has not been given. So I asked Prasadla, he says no. So it's very difficult to elaborate on a story, and I had to fight with this Dambulla Viking, some media guy. He came, he is saying I am threatening. So it has gone to that level. So I am asking you now, if you can just see, very difficult to get Prasanna, someday he'll be busy, he's head of that department. If you can give us some numbers and whom to contact, because what number will not work. So we need at least, because all are working for deadlines. Now we can't go and sit down in the, sometime we'll sit in the TV, but we need information. So I think if you can plan out certain things to give us the correct information, and we need very clearly 2, 3, at least 3 people's telephone numbers, which is answerable. Otherwise it will be a very difficult time, and we have to call you at 11:30 in the night, 12 o'clock, that you have to accept. I think you have to accept that also. So please...
Noted, Tafia will make every endeavor to ensure that 3 numbers have been allocated to you all in order to get in touch with those persons. And we will also keep them briefed and updated of the progress, what's happening at the venue.
The other thing is photographs. It's also very important, it should come on time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ රවින් වික්‍රමරත්න මහත්මයාට. දැන් මේ තරඟාවලියට පෙළ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනය නිවේදනය කළා කරප්ෂන් සම්බන්ධව විශාල වැඩසටහනක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා කියලා ජගත් ක්‍රිකට් කවුන්සිලයත් සමග. එහෙමනම් මේ තරඟාවලිය ඉලක්ක කරගනිමින් ඔවුන්ගේ නිලධාරීන් ලංකාවට පැමිණලා තිබෙනවද? ඒ කී දෙනෙක්ද? ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නය මේ වෙනකොට කිසියම් ක්‍රීඩකයෙකු විසින් ඇන්ටි කරප්ෂන් එකට පැමිණිල්ලක් සිදු කර තිබෙනවද ඔහුට කිසියම් ආරාධනාවක් කළා කියලා වංචාවක් සහ දූෂණ සම්බන්ධව?
ප්‍රශ්නයට මෙහෙම උත්තර දෙන්නම්. මුලින්ම ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයට අපිට දැනුවත් කරලා නැහැ ඔබ කියන ක්‍රීඩකයා යම්කිසි චෝදනාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා ඔහුව මොකක් හරි විදියට ඔහුව දැනුවත් කරලා තියෙන එක. ඒක ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයට පැමිණිල්ලක් හැටියට ඉදිරිපත් කරලා නැහැ. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ දූෂණ විරෝධී කමිටුව ඉන්නවා එතන, ඇන්ටි කරප්ෂන් යුනිට් එක. ඒකේ නියෝජිතයෝ දෙන්නෙක් ICC එකෙන් පැමිණලා ඉන්නවා දැනට. ඒ වගේම ශ්‍රී ලංකා ආයතනයට, ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනයට අනුයුක්තව තවත් නිලධාරීන් 2 දෙනෙක් එතන රැඳී ඉන්නවා ඒ හෝටලේම. ඒ වගේම ඊයේ ක්‍රීඩා අමාත්‍යාංශයේ දූෂණ විරෝධී අංශයක් තියෙනවා. එම අංශයේ ඉන්න නිලධාරීන්නුත් දැනට හම්බන්තොට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක නිසා මම මුලින්ම කිව්වා වගේ මේ තරඟාවලිය පටන් ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා වගේ මේ ගැන විශේෂ අවධානයක් යොමු කරනවා. මේ මොනවා හරි මේ තරඟ පාවා දෙන්න හරි මොනවා හරි දෙයකට උත්සුක වෙනවා නම් ඒ දේ ගැන විමසිලිමත් වෙන්න ඒක ඔවුන් ඒ රාජකාරිය කරයි කියලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
කැන්ඩි ටස්කස් කණ්ඩායමට ඩේල් ස්ටේන් එනවා කියලා තිබ්බා. හැබැයි මේ ලිස්ට් එකේ ඔහුගේ නම නැහැ. මොකක්ද ඒකට හේතුව?
ඔව් ඩේල් ස්ටේන් එකම දේ තියෙන්නේ ඔහුට මේ දවස් 14ක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නිසා තමයි ඩේල් ස්ටේන්ගේ පැමිණීම. හැබැයි දැනටත් මට කියන්න සන්තෝෂයි. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ කණ්ඩායම් අයිතිකරුවන් ඔවුන් දැනටත් යම් ක්‍රීඩකීන්ට කතා කර ඉන්නවා මේ ලෝක පූජිත ක්‍රීඩකීන්ට මේ තරඟාවලිය වර්ණවත් කරන්න ඔවුන් මැද භාගයේ හෝ ගෙන්නා ගන්න. ඒක නිසා මේ කණ්ඩායම මේ දැන් දීලා තියෙන කණ්ඩායම තමයි දැනට නම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් අපි රිප්ලේස්මන්ට් එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් ක්‍රීඩකයෙක් වෙනුවට ක්‍රීඩකයෙක් අනුයුක්ත කරන්න තරඟාවලියේ කොන්දේසි මත පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඔවුන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා යම් ක්‍රීඩකීන් සැරින් සැරේට පැමිණෙන්නට පුළුවන් කියන්නේ.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Yes, we do.
Anil, again to finish off. Is this the first time that you have got involved in a league like this, or was it, you had another experience, past experience of having undertaken a similar league?
So in Pakistan we are doing PSL. It's a joint venture there with my partners. One is handling, Blitz is handling, let's say, broadcast, and other was handling sponsors. It's a joint venture earlier. And if you see all over the world, this kind of arrangement is only done in CPL and here where the events partner is doing it. So we have, because of my experience, if I have done T10, I have done CPL, I have done all the leagues in the world. Like Mazanzi League was also done by us for 2 years. So I have experience for all the leagues. I know how how to manage all this. Yes. So how do you sort of look at this particular tournament going? I mean, so far the arrangements and quite to your satisfaction. How is it going according to plan or what? It was tough, very tough, but it was impossible. But I got really good support from the Honorable Minister and Sri Lankan board. Everyone is supporting me, and there are tough times, but we are managing, and it will happen. This tournament will happen, and after we deliver first year, it will be bigger and better next year. Don't worry. Okay. Don't worry, just trust us.
Thank you very much on that very positive note. Do we have any final questions? Yes, we have one.
Anil, Anil, behind the cameras, just a question. See, as Sri Lankans, most of the people sometimes say for an IPL, they know the owners, they are pretty much in front of the cameras and all. Can you just shed some light on the owners of these 5 franchises, if it's possible?
You want to answer? Yeah, okay. All right. So we have Gaul Gladiators owner as he was a PSL owner in Pakistan, Quetta Gladiators. So they've taken one team. Sohail Khan has taken Candy, and we have what's his name? Sachin Joshi is one of the film star as Dambula owner, and then we have Mr. Anandan Arnold from UK. They have a group. They have taken Jaffna, and which is a 16. Colombo is taken by Fazza Group from UAE. So these are the 5 owners.
Thank you. Any final questions? Going once, twice? Okay, perfect. Yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for all your questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much to our head table for answering all those questions. We now will be ending this session, and there will be refreshments served at the foyer, so please do go and enjoy. Thank you very much once again, and we look forward to a wonderful My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League 2020 starting day after tomorrow. Thank you.